afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to This Is Now. 5 days until Election Day, and both presidential candidates are focusing on key Southwest battleground states. Now, Vice President Harris and former President Trump are both taking part in events in Arizona and Nevada today, and Mr. Trump is also holding a rally in New Mexico. Bree Jackson has more from Washington.
The government shouldn't be.
Presidential candidates dodging distractions and getting back on message. Vice President Harris hammering home her closing argument.
I'm running like the underdog because we are. Donald Trump's been running for the last decade.
Harris looking to move past President Biden's comments where he appeared to refer to former President Trump's supporters as garbage and is instead using Mr. Trump's words to her advantage after he said this.
I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say. I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
Listen, it actually is, I think, very offensive to women in terms of not understanding their agency, their authority, their right, and their ability to make decisions about their own lives, including their own bodies.
Both candidates making their last-minute pitch to voters in Arizona and Nevada, the most diverse battleground state. Trump seeking to make inroads with Latino voters after a comedian at his rally made offensive remarks about Puerto Rico. The former president leaning in on the economy.
Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? With your vote in this election, I will end inflation.
Americans are paying close attention to campaign promises.
I think if Trump were to be in office, yeah, we're screwed.
She said that she's going to change it, but we don't know.
Both candidates are making their final push to convince voters. And we're learning more about where the candidates will be in their final days of their campaigns. Vice President Harris is expected to make several stops in Pennsylvania Monday and close out her campaign with a large rally in Philadelphia, while former President Trump's last rally will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's also where he held his last campaign events in 2020 and 2016. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
With Election Day fast approaching, now's the time to cast your vote. According to NBC News, more than 186,000 votes have so far been cast here in Hawaii. 96% of those have been mailed in. If you want to know where to drop off your mail-in ballot or to find a voter service center, just head to our website, hawaiinewsnow.com. And just a reminder, all ballots must be received by 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Go to our website and look for the Election 2024 section for everything you need to know. North Korea fired a new intercontinental ballistic missile today designed to threaten the U.S. ahead of Election Day. Tina Kraus has the details.
For the first time in almost a year, North Korea launched a new and more powerful missile that could potentially reach the U.S. mainland. South Korean and Japanese officials say the intercontinental ballistic missile was fired almost vertically Thursday, traveling upward for 86 minutes, reaching a height of more than 4,300 miles before falling into the sea. That would be North Korea's longest flight time and highest altitude ever. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said it shows, quote, our will to respond to our enemies. Air forces from the U.S. and South Korea staged joint aerial drills in response to the missile launch, a launch U.S. officials called a flagrant violation of multiple UN security resolutions. The test came as a South Korean delegation visited leaders in Washington, and just days after the U.S. confirmed Pyongyang deployed soldiers to Russia to likely join Russia's war against Ukraine.
We now assess that there are some 10,000 North Korean soldiers in total in Russia. They fully intend to use these forces in frontline operations.
The U.S. and South Korea have called on North Korea to withdraw its troops from Russia as tensions escalate in the region. A South Korean military official said the launch may have been timed to the U.S. election in an attempt to strengthen North Korea's future bargaining power. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
In Los Angeles, World Series celebrations last night were marred by reports of looting, at least one fire, and the discovery of explosive devices. After the Dodgers beat the Yankees in Game 5 to clinch the series, tens of thousands of fans flooded Echo Park near Dodger Stadium, East LA, and downtown Los Angeles. Police ordered the crowd to disperse just before 10 p.m., but shortly before midnight, a hostile crowd set fire to a Metro bus. Crowds also smashed windows and looted a Nike store downtown. The LA County Sheriff says law enforcement also found explosive devices. Here at home, police are searching for 3 males who allegedly robbed a high school student in Kalihi. It happened while the victim was walking home from Farrington High School earlier this month. They say the teen was on Linapuni Street when he was confronted by the suspects. They made off with the victim's gold chain and a cross pendant, cell phone, and fanny pack. If you have any tips, call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. On Hawaii Island, police are asking for help locating 60-year-old Jeffrey Clarkson. The Hilo resident was last seen Monday afternoon on Rainbow Drive. Clarkson may need medical assistance. He's described as 5 feet 9 inches tall, 220 pounds, and was last seen wearing a black sweater and blue jeans. If you can help, please call the police department's non-emergency line at 935-3311. Criminals want your money, and to avoid getting ripped off, you need to outsmart them. That's the warning for Hawaii's kupuna as technology advances. Ben Gutierrez explains.
Scammers have already been using the phone to call, text, or email potential victims, but artificial intelligence, or AI, is increasing the risk.
Not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real.
You may recall seeing that deep fake on the internet. That was 3 years ago. In terms of artificial intelligence, it's practically ancient as the technology becomes even more convincing.
Before you could FaceTime someone to see if that was the real person. I don't know with AI whether that's going to really be the case anymore.
The AARP is warning kupuna in particular that AI may be used to fool people in a more sinister way.
AI can be used for deep fake images and can clone voices. So you might get used to hearing Ben's voice, but it's actually been cloned and it's someone else.
This comes as the U.S. Marshals Service is reporting an increase in phone scammers posing as law enforcement officials, asking for money by falsely claiming they're resolving outstanding arrest warrants, court cases, or failing to report for jury duty.
If a law enforcement officer has something that they need to deal with you on, they're going to do it in person.
I have a lawyer friend who got the call from a sheriff that she doesn't pay this like contempt bond. And the thing was so good, they used all the right legal terms. And she's a lawyer, like a legit trial attorney, and she almost fell for it.
Tech expert Sean Boyd says whether it's phone calls or video chats, we all need to learn the telltale signs of a scam.
Normally, it's the weird pauses, it's the weird intonations, it's the weird eye flicks that don't match what you are expecting.
But as AI advances, those quirks may soon disappear, so we'll need to be even more discerning.
When we say how's it, we tilt the head a little bit. We don't just say how's it, we go, how's it? It's always a little up. So if you saw a deep fake where someone's saying how's it and the head don't tilt back, it's fake.
It's funny, but it's no laughing matter for kupuna, who are the most often targeted. That's why the AARP is holding online courses on AI next month.
But technology is going to be critical. Like you said, it increases, the complexity increases, I think, exponentially. And we want kupuna to be able to be part of the future.
The AARP courses are being held over Zoom for the next 3 Tuesdays. We have a schedule and a link on our website. Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
Governor Josh Green is defending his nominee to the State Water Commission, and in an exclusive interview, he told Daryl Huff it is time for a compromise.
The governor's been under fire from environmentalists for his handling of water issues since soon after the Maui wildfires. His appointment of a retired state historic preservation official is the latest conflict, and he called on his critics to compromise.
These kind of stories that get rolled out and start from a place of confrontation, what do they get us? Nothing. They get us no housing, no progress, no water changes, no nothing.
After nearly an 11-month process, the governor nominated V.R. Hinano Rodriguez to a position on the State Water Commission reserved by law for a person with substantial experience or expertise in traditional Hawaiian water resource management techniques and in traditional Hawaiian riparian usage. That's to ensure that traditional kalo farmers have access to adequate stream water. Rodriguez was a cultural expert with the State Historic Preservation Agency.
Let them see this person's resume. It's fantastic. You know, this is someone who's committed years and years of service in the field. And by the way, grows his own taro, for gosh sakes.
One needs to have some water resource management background. And certainly from my standpoint, it doesn't seem like this gentleman is qualified.
Senator Lorraine Inouye's Water and Land Committee will handle Rodriguez's confirmation hearing, and she feels the nomination is divisive.
I can't understand why the governor is already upsetting the community and not fulfilling the requirements of that particular seat.
All due respect, the senators should talk to the individual, find out where they're coming from long before lobbing a little hand grenade behind their back, okay?
The governor said advocates of stream restoration are blocking needed housing, although they dispute that. He says people are too quick to attack nominees who are willing to compromise.
In our beautiful state, if people don't line up perfectly, then we demonize them. This is no way to move forward as a state. And so I would ask those who bring an ideological position to instead trust that people are going to actually try to work in good faith.
Hinano Rodriguez could take his seat on the Water Commission as early as tomorrow when the commission meets in Honolulu. You can also see more of our interview with the governor on our website. Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
Students and teachers are fighting against a proposed public school budget cut that could impact performing arts and other programs. Teachers just learned about a possible $1.7 million cut from the Learning Center program, which helps pay for theater, STEM, agriculture, health, and business. Performing arts students at Mililani High are getting ready to testify at a meeting today where the Board of Education is set to vote on the budget.
I was really shocked and I was kind of disappointed. Kind of my whole life that what I've committed to was at risk of being taken away from me and future generations.
There are coordinators that I've talked to who have straight up said, my principal has told me if there is no funds, this program will no longer exist.
The DOE says it wants to shift funding from the state level to the school level, saying, quote, subsidies previously provided centrally by the department's state office for nearly 4 decades would be phased out. Schools would have the authority to prioritize program offerings using per pupil school level funds. Historians are creating an archive of Lahaina's history, and they're asking for your help. They're calling on people to share photos, videos, documents, and physical items to help tell the town's story. The Lahaina Restoration Foundation is looking for factual and emotional stories of Lahaina before, during, and after the wildfire disaster.
Right now, it's going to be hosted on the Lahaina Restoration website, and very likely it will also be hosted elsewhere. The 9/11 archive, for example, is hosted with the Library of Congress, and there's a real likelihood that it will be hosted nationally and statewide as well.
A county grant is funding the project. To submit something, email archive@lahainarestoration.org. For the first time, a pig in the United States has been diagnosed with the H5N1 bird flu, sparking new concerns. Federal officials say it was detected in a pig at a backyard farm in Oregon, where poultry tested positive for the virus last week. Experts say it's concerning because pigs or swine are thought of as mixing vessels between human, bird, and swine flu.
And what happens is when you have recombination of genetic material between these, you get these Frankenstein recombinations. These are the viruses that have the danger of becoming pandemic flu.
The CDC says the risk to the general public from bird flu remains low. Nearly 40 cases of H5N1 have been reported in people so far this year in 6 states. All but one had been in contact with infected animals. All right, let's take a live look outside with our tower cam over Aloha Tower. The temperature outside 82 degrees on this Aloha Thursday, and happy Halloween, everyone. So what's in store for your trick or treating forecast? Guy Hagi's going to have that after this quick break.
How's it on this Halloween? We've got a damp trade wind weather pattern likely through the rest of today. That means we'll see frequent windward and mulcus showers, mostly in the early morning and overnight hours. Should see drier conditions by the afternoon for leeward sides. But because the winds will run breezy today, 15 to 25, some of those showers will drift over to leeward sides every now and then. So if you plan on trick-or-treating tonight, take an umbrella just to be safe. There will be some pockets of dry spots, but for the most part, there will be passing showers tonight, easing up by tomorrow. And the surf will be easing up as well, although it's still going to be elevated on the east shores. Conditions will be choppy. And heads up, starting Friday night, a swell will be moving in to north and west shores. It's going to be a big one peaking on Sunday. High surf advisories will likely be posted. So a little damp, a little squishy for today and for tonight for Halloween. And then we'll see fewer showers, but we'll still see some windward and mulcus showers on Friday and Saturday. Again, the shower levels will back off to some extent. And then the showers pick up again from Sunday on. Looks like it's going to be especially wet on Wednesday. Also, the winds are expected to ease up starting on Sunday.
It's Halloween, the one day a year where fear is celebrated. But when it comes to things that scare us, why is it that some people like being spooked more than others? Michael Yoshida has more on what the science says.
Why do some of us enjoy experiencing fear? That's a question that the researchers we spoke with are trying to answer.
People do many different things to get pleasure out of fear.
Investigating conditions under which fear can be fun, social, and in some cases meaningful.
It's sort of built in, it seems, to sort of human nature in a way.
Mark Anderson and Matthias Claesen run the Recreational Fear Lab at Aarhus University in Denmark. They say similar to the excitement a child may feel before opening a gift, anxiousness of the unknown, surprise, and eventual resolution is what can make things like haunted houses, scary movies, roller coasters, even hide and seek so enjoyable.
Humans tend to seek out things that surprise us in a variety of ways that drive up uncertainty, so that we can then reduce that uncertainty.
Experiencing horror can also provide people with a sense of accomplishment, feed a need for stimulation, and satisfy an appetite for the macabre.
We are very curious to know what's going to happen if one attends, let's say, Hannibal Lecter's dinner. Or what happens if the purge night is really on today?
Behavioral scientist Haiyang Yang says research suggests 3 psychological conditions allow someone to enjoy horror. 1, confidence in dealing with the situation. Even if I encounter zombies, I'll be fine because I know I can outrun them or fight them off. 2, understanding you're physically safe. Even if I see a monster on screen, it can't hurt me. 3, detachment. Realizing ghosts and killer clowns at a haunted house are just actors.
Possessing those frames help protect you from actual psychological harm.
Yang says that experiencing horror can also give some sense of bragging rights. They're able to say, I was able to make it through this haunted house or watch that scary film. He says those who also enjoy adrenaline often enjoy experiencing horror as well. Reporting in Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
Hawaii residents are celebrating Halloween by decorating their homes and dressing up in costume, including our Casey Lund, who is always great television. Here's a hilarious moment from this morning that you may have missed.
It's okay. It's okay, Stephen Grace, you know, because we're working to get things back on the right track. Okay? Now, yes. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but I want to let you know everything's going to be okay, all right? And give you a little information about myself. Yes. My name is Matt Foley, and I am a motivational speaker. I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river. Oh. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well done.
You realize he rehearses this every day here on Sunrise.
He's just
you just don't get to see it.
Woo!
That's so awesome.
It's so you, bud.
You know, I debated stuffing the shirt because I don't know that I really need it these days. I've been working on this costume for years. Hey, We're having some fun. We're having some fun. We got more fun to have.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the things happening around town. Enough about me. I want to introduce you to a family in Hawaii Kai that, much like me, does Halloween right. Check it out.
Your holiday spirit is impressive.
So what is the theme this year?
Star Wars.
Karen and Alan Hong have been transforming their Hawaii Kai home for longer than they can remember.
We've done a lot over the last 20 years. We've done Ghostbusters and Moana, Little Mermaid, Hocus Pocus.
Hell's Kitchen, The Grateful Undead.
Pulling all this together, as you might imagine, is a galactic feat. And while Karen may be the visionary,
And you're the muscle.
Yes, I do all the heavy lifting, right? But she's the creative one, so I just do as she tells me.
that's in no way to say that Karen is simply shouting orders.
Halt! Stop right there! The Empire has been looking for someone just like you to spread holiday spirit throughout the galaxy.
She starts the process of searching for all these artifacts basically as soon as she takes the previous year's decorations down, even making trips to the mainland to score certain items she finds online.
I went to San Francisco to pick up a Stormtrooper prop that was too big to mail. I put them in 2 suitcases, a golf bag cover and a suitcase.
And then had to carry the head on
As carry.
because it wouldn't all fit in the suitcases.
But it was worth it.
And this massive Darth Vader?
On eBay from a promotion for Burger King, and we had some issues and problems, so we fixed them. And as long as he stays up,
holds air,
tomorrow, we'll be really happy.
The Hongs have a blast putting all this together, a true labor of love. But they keep doing it year in and year out, not simply for their entertainment, but for the neighborhood.
The kids coming, we get a lot of kids that come every single year, and as they grow up, they bring their kids. And we'll give out hundreds of cotton candies tomorrow. I have a lot of friends coming to help.
And if you hang out at the Hongs too long while they're setting up for the big day, you'll be asked to help too.
You can lift it up from here. Oh, let me push this.
All worth it.
Okay. Sit and act like you're driving it.
All right.
So you're probably going to be the biggest kid that's been on it.
Join me, and together we can rule the holidays.
Okay, so they will each receive a $100 gift card from our featured restaurants. We have our top 3 winners voted on Instagram. So in third place, Davis, with 5,532 votes, is the not so sweet lady of Waiahole. Now this was sent in by Kani and Pili Diaz. Congratulations, third place right there. In second place, we have 8,906 votes is the Opihi Ohana. This is sent in by the Ho Ohana from Maui. And then last but not least, first place with a dominating performance and 13,200 votes is, of course, the locals Slippa with the B52 cockroach sent in by Missy Hirano. So congratulations.
I'm just so impressed by that cockroach. That's actually a chicken for all of you guys who have not seen it. Zoom in on it.
We're going to email you guys. Thank you.